My name is Jack Gladfelter, and this is our Villan synopsis on Oswald Chesterfield Cobblepot, otherwise known as the Penguin. This analysis goes into who the Penguin is, what his background is, his history in Gotham City, and what are his tendencies against Batman and the city of Gotham. We will also be going into a deeper analysis of his philosophical ideas and how he relates with popular philosophers throughout history.
Hi guys, I'm Jaden, and I'm going to do a brief bio on the Penguin, or Oswald Cobblepot here. He's one of the most iconic villains in DC history. He is very methodical, and he first appeared in the Detective Comics of 1941. He was created by Bob Kane and Bill Finger, and he led the underground black market for a very long time. And unlike many other Batman villains, the Penguin is very grounded. He is a symbol of organized crime, corruption, and he is part of the darker side of the underground part of Gotham. His blend of sophisticated brutality is something that compels his enemies to the core. The weapons that he used, like umbrellas, concealed weapons, gadgets, and escape tools, has often made him like a false safety type of dude, and he somehow just survives every encounter. So I would say that he is like the cockroach of the DC universe.
Cobblepot was born into a once wealthy crime family in Gotham City, whose decline shaped much of his early childhood life. He experienced persistent bullying from physical appearance, and his father distanced himself from Cobblepot at a young age. However, his mother, Gertrude Cobblepot, had the strongest influence on his identity. The combination of social rejection, family instability, and his overall emotional well-being contributed significantly to the bitterness and insecurity that later defined his current behavior.
Despite the difficult upbringing of Cobblepot, he leveraged his intelligence and business instincts to rise within the Gotham crime underworld. He operates at Iceberg Lounge, which serves as both a legitimate establishment but also a central hub for organized crime. He possesses skills of manipulation, negotiation, and physical combat, being trained in boxing and in judo. Additionally, he favors weapons, kind of like these umbrellas right here, that equips various gadgets and contributing to his unpredictability.
Although Cobblepot frequently presents himself as refined and cultured, his underlying personality is driven by ambition and ruthlessness. He is highly motivated by his sense of social status and his power over crime in Gotham, often acting out of deep-rooted insecurity. His loyalties are strategic rather than emotional, shifting only when advantageous or poked at. While he can be charismatic at times and when it's necessary, he is also vengeful, calculating and consistently focused on survival and upward mobility.
So I crashed! What do you want? Right now, my troops are fanning out across town for your children. Yes, for your firstborn sons. The ones you left defenseless at home so you could dress up like jerks, get juiced, and dance badly. I've personally...
Psychologically, Cobblepot demonstrates a persistent pattern of pathological ambition and hyperfixation on how the public views him. He exhibits different symptoms and consistent with paranoia, and he maintains a compulsive need to secure the respect of others. Otherwise known as, he is a very big people pleaser and wants to be known by everybody. His capacity for empathy is limited, and his manipulation is one of his main psychological traits. He also has a central component of interpersonal behavior, which causes him to focus on himself versus the others around. Early maternal dependency and childhood rejection played a role on this psychological profile, shaped the insecurities that he has, and it continues to drive his action in the crime world inside of Gotham City. This next clip will show some of the psychological traits we have just talked about.
Psycho! I got you!
Cobblepot maintains his criminal influence through blackmail, intimidation, and systematic corruption. He excels during periods of instability in Gotham and often turns power struggles into his advantage. His operations reflect a traditional, structured approach to organized crime, distinguishing him from Gotham's most chaotic, criminal crucial elements. A good key example of this is the Batman No Man's Land comic, where after Gotham is devastated by an earthquake and abandoned by the US government, the city begins to be a war zone. Cobblepot does what he does best. He adapts and he profits from this situation, taking over major parts of the Batman universe. Major black market suppliers, breaking out wars between neutral warring factions, and is one of the few villains who thrives in the chaos. And he doesn't just necessarily try to rule Gotham, but he controls all of the flow of resources, which makes him even more dangerous.
Cobblepot has played reoccurring roles in multiple major Gotham incidents, some of them including The Long Halloween, Dark Victory, No Man's Land, Forever Evil, and Batman Eternal. Across these events, he typically avoids direct attention, preferring to move in the background or behind the scenes. He allows for other forces to generate most of the chaos against Batman, while he executes more of a strategic, low visibility moves. And this helps him expand his influence in Gotham City and in the crime scene.
Cobblepot's worldview closely parallels the philosophy of Thomas Hobbes and John Locke, who argue that humans are naturally self-interested and prone to conflict without structured order. Cobblepot views Gotham through the lens believing that power is essential for survival and that fear is an effective tool to maintaining it. A key element and aspect to not look over is also John Locke's argument that we start off with a blank slate from birth, and that we are molded and indoctrinated from birth. We see this view with Cobblepot, with his treatment of his parents and the bullying that he has with his uprising, with his appearance, and that shapes his worldview.
Another one of Cobblepot's philosophical worldviews relates closely to Rousseau's idea and are very close. Rousseau's proposed that society plays a corrupting role in shaping individuals. In Cobblepot's case, his early experiences with ridicule, Exclusion and his familial decline contributed directly to formation of his criminal identity. His bitterness is not innate, however, rather it was developed as a response to his environment.
Now, I would like to combine Hobbes and Rousseauian into the Penguin. Combining these two philosophical perspectives helps explain Cobblepot's behavior and patterns. He embodies Hobbes' survival-driven competitiveness while also reflecting Rousseau's idea of corruption, shaped by social forces as a result of his actions and control and influence rather than moral considerations. He views Gotham as a competitive landscape where respect is taken, not given. Going into Thomas Hobbes, Hobbes has a fear of violent death, where Cobblepot does not have necessarily a fear of death, but most of his fear is placed in his empire, status, and reputation, and losing it. And this results also in the social contract theory, where Cobblepot, in a sense, believes in the social contract theory, but he believes he should be the state, not the actual state. Now, he places himself as the ultimate authority. Now we're going to get into Rousseauian. Rousseau has questions of human nature that results in the conclusion that we should find our noble savage, a desire for survival and self-love. This makes your own reality, and anything from others or relationships is confined and suppressing you. This relates to Cobblepot because Cobblepot believes that friends and the state is confining in Gotham, and he should be the ultimate authority in Gotham because he knows what is best according to his view. This results in him placing himself as the ultimate authority, making up what he wants in his worldview, making him the ultimate objective truth.
Oswald Cobblepot and Bruce Wayne both share key similarities. Both of them were born into wealth, shaped by early trauma, and rely on intelligence, planning, and symbolism rather than raw strength. Each seeks to impose order on Gotham, but their responses to hardship fundamentally differ. Batman channels his trauma into a moral mission centered on justice, restraint, and protection of others. Cobblepot, however, transforms his trauma into justification for control, status, and legitimacy. Batman rejects corruption. Penguin embeds himself within it, manipulating crime, politics, and commerce to make himself indispensable. The difference between the Penguin's legacy, unlike villains who thrive on their chaos or spectacle, Cobblepot values stability and long-term influence. He controls resources, information, and alliances, allowing him to survive shifts in Gotham City's underworld. Penguin acts as a dark reflection of Batman. Both seek control over chaos, but one pursues order through justice, while the other achieves it through exploitation and power.
To conclude, and just to wrap up everything that we have talked about the Penguin and Cobblepot and his childhood and the way his father treated him and the way his mother treated him, and how that influenced his worldview going forward. We went through John Locke, Rousseau, and Thomas Hobbes. As we move forward, maintaining awareness of Cobblepot's patterns and philosophical frameworks that guide him through the essential for anticipating the next moves of the Batman and his enemies. Continue monitoring his operations, associations, and public influence. With help, ensure we remain ahead of any strategic shifts and attempts to make within the city. This concludes the full case briefing Oswald Cobblepot. Further analysis, follow-up reports, or expanded psychological profiling can be provided upon request.